We sing the tale of Maralone, yo-ho, me lads, set sail to brave the curses sevenfold beyond the misty veil. Yo-ho-ho, beware what lurks below. Yo-ho-ho, below the shore we go. A mark of black upon our hands. Yo-ho, me lads, take heed. We're bound together, salt to sand. With every drop we bleed. Yo-ho-ho, we'll find what lurks below. Singing yo-ho-ho, below the shore we go.
Hello!
Hello!
Hello.
Definitely did that too early.
Mine was more of a question.
I enjoyed all of them, and I hope our audience feels actually welcomed to Below the Shoreline, a Chance Encounters Dungeons & Dragons mini-campaign. I am going to be your host, but also DM. My name is Eric Monroe Schwan, joined today by just some fucking icons, yo. We got two of the normal Chance Encounters crew with us, DM for our premiere series, First City, writer, composer, all-around accomplished man, Ian Frost.
Hello.
We got cosplayer, artist, what else? You do so many things, Asteria.
You can say it. We're just threats of every kind.
Yeah, you're threats of every kind. But we,
triple threat. I mean, all of us have, really.
yeah, we're like sextuple
One way or
at this
another.
point.
Yeah.
But we got Asteria in the mix. We also have executive producer for Medley Studios, writer, director, and performer Sam Rutledge.
What's up? What is up, people?
Hey, and last but certainly not least, my king, director, writer, performer, John Webb.
Listen, hello.
Hello. We're pretty much just gonna hop into it. This is a unique setting of my invention. The world is called Terratol, but we are going to be specifically focusing on one island called Maralone. Just so everyone is on the same page, I am a first-time DM. Technically second time, our zero session was my first time DMing, which you can go check that out if you wish. Anyways, I am lucky enough to have a cast full of incredibly accomplished DMs. So if you see me deferring to them at certain points, that is why.
We're all rule lawyers.
Just a whole cast of rule lawyers.
And rule number 1 is screw the rules.
Yep.
Exactly.
Right.
We
But
might as well just throw this book away.
Yeah.
I
mean,
mean,
none of us are gonna count spell slots. We don't
It's
do that here.
Full first campaign of Adventure Zone.
Yeah.
I will say that my Dungeon Master's Guide, player's manual, and the DM screen is all being used just to point the sound into my microphone. So we're really just ditching the rules here.
Listen, we have
Just
Reddit.
make it feel
We have
authentic.
Yeah, exactly. I think without further ado, we can hop right into it unless anybody has anything they want to say real quick. No?
I love you.
No?
Aw.
Sweet. I love all you guys. This is gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna crush it. We start by looking down. We're looking down into darkness that seems impenetrable. It seems almost to extend into infinity. You could swim all day, all night, for weeks and never reach the bottom. All you can hear is the sound of rushing water. And as we pull back from the darkness, it seems to shift, almost as if it's something's shadow. But that doesn't concern us as we turn our attention upwards to a scintillating, sparkling surface of water above, which we break through to look at an island. Large tracts of beach stretch out from its base, and at the center of these tracts of beach is a little bright harbor. Behind the harbor, a ways off, begin these large rolling hills covered in thick pine trees. Some might even call it mountainous. On the left side of the slope of this hill/mountain is shaved off and descends into a sheer cliff face of black rock that is hiding beneath. The island looks small, set against the vastness of the lucent ocean behind it. It's a beautiful day with blue skies forever. And everything is peaceful until a ship cuts through the water and pushes us up and around. And we get a look at this beautiful ferry boat. And we see on the prow is written the Golden Hour. And right behind this ferry boat is this massive continent of Kamino, and which is home to the Kamanian Empire. And directly behind the boat is the port of Vushan. But we descend into this boat. We find our way into these passengers' quarters, which is really just a large room with glass all the way around, so you can see every bit of the beautiful ocean around you. And we find our first player character, Bene Anjaro. John, would you go ahead and introduce Bene for me, please?
Yeah, Bene is a 21-year-old half-orc. He was born and raised on Maralone, and yeah, he's just he's just a fun guy, always looking for a good time.
Absolute king. And can you describe kind of his look and his style? And you can even go into kind of like the crunchy character stuff if you want, like class.
Okay. His hair is kind of, they're like locks, they're like twisted hair that's like blonde. He has like, even though usually orcs are like usually green, it's like because he's like been on this island, it's like his skin has kind of turned just like tan, as if he's just been out in the sun this whole time tanning. And he's rocking some sunglasses, some shorts, like he's just always ready to just hop in the ocean and just start, relaxing. He is a fighter / barbarian. I think we're level 10?
Yeah, we're level 10.
Yeah, level 10. He speaks a bunch of languages.
Oh yeah.
He speaks. He's definitely like a man of the people. Like he loves like talking to crowds of people. He's always like on the quest of learning more languages. And yeah.
Being near the port city of Vushan, you have ample opportunity to learn new languages with traders coming in and out from continents all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
And Bene works as the first mate on the Golden Hour,
right?
And which is a passenger vessel. It's like public transportation. During the earlier half of the week, it takes people who work on the mainland from the island to the mainland and back, once in the morning, once at night. But over the weekend, it is repurposed as a part of Maralone's tourism industry. So it's going back and forth pretty much all day, every day. But this weekend is special because it is the Winnowing Festival, which is a harvest festival. And so, Bene, you are in front of a group of about 20 to 30 travelers, all just kind of sitting out and relaxing. You have the kind of bar to the side, which has one bartender who can serve drinks and give out little snacks. And what is Bene doing to kind of get the crowd going?
He is, he's just kind of just like going through the crowd, saying hey to people he's seen before. He's probably seen some faces or like seen he's just enjoying the crowd. Like he's just having a drink, walking through, making sure everyone's taken care of. He's just kind of hanging out.
And I think at this point, perhaps the passengers aren't super aware that you're the first mate, just because you're so
they think I'm just a person.
They think I'm having fun.
Yeah, they think I'm just a person who's just weirdly speaking to everyone, Like It's like when if you wear like a blue shirt to Best Buy, everyone thinks you work there,
Mhm.
and you're like, no, I don't
Yeah.
work there. But it's like the opposite with him. He's like, he does work there, but he's just being so casual that everyone thinks he's just another passenger.
What is he wearing?
So he's wearing, well, Hero Forge doesn't have Hawaiian shirts, so
Perfect.
Which is a shame.
it is
A big
but
miss.
right. I mean, I need
And
Come
to,
on.
you know,
I need
this
to see what
fantasy
that's
world doesn't have Hawaii.
right.
So,
Right, true. He's wearing just like an open, like button-up shirt. He has a rotating closet of just fun, loose clothing, like shirts, like silk shirts, and like when he wants to be fancy, he wears like a little like actual button-up shirt.
Ooh.
But he's always just rocking like some sandals, like those like like the like hiking sandals that you can wear. They're like
Mhm.
they give you they actually you can actually like run or like walk in them without feeling like you're gonna like
Fall
do that
over.
thing where it, like flips under your
Oh
foot.
yeah.
I hate it.
It's the bane of my existence.
Yeah, and he's wearing just some fun like blue shorts that like some like thigh shorts that I mean completely inappropriate for work. Like this is not how most people should be looking at work, but his boss kind of realized like if I tell him to wear something else, he won't show up to work. So I have to just let him wear this.
Yeah, Captain Yasley News is pretty lenient with you and just
Yeah.
wants to keep you around because you do such a good job with all the different people that you have to carry across.
Right.
As I think you take your first mate position in front of this crowd, do you have that kind of like little bit of lore that I dropped your way that you could?
Yes. So I'm assuming like he kind of just like goes up to the front, like I don't know, boat. I forgot like boat directions, like starboard, like I don't know. He goes like to the front.
I have no idea either. And
I
I've been
should Google
prepping
that.
this for several weeks.
Can I
But-
roll for knowing it? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, go for it. But you go to the front of this room. You're kind of in like a viewing deck.
People in the comments just like, this was a pretty cool campaign, but the immersion took me out. He didn't know what.
You know the parts of a ship, and I just don't fuck with that.
Yeah. So he goes up to the front. I'm assuming there's probably like a little stand or like a little microphone
Definitely.
that he goes to. And you want me to just read it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. He walks up and he's just like little feedback, like he's like, good morning, all of you beautiful folks out there, and welcome aboard the Golden Hour. We are officially disembarking from that big old port of Schwan, and have set course to beautiful Maralone Island, a place I love to call home. Who am I, you may ask? My name is Bene Anjaro. I am your first mate and fast friend for our hour-long expedition to Hurryback Harbor. Sit back, relax, feel free to grab a drink and a snack from our bar. Whether you're staying with us on Maralone for the whole weekend or just coming for the day, you can take advantage of any number of excursions and establishments. Get some gear from Hook, Line, and Sinker Tackle Shop. Rent or hire a boat and go on a little fishing excursion. Or sit back and enjoy the sights and take an above-board bayside cruise. Pursue some of Maralone's finest food items at the bulging
larder, yeah. You ever just have your friends do the lore dump because you don't want to? The bulging larder, yeah.
Bulging larder, or sit for a seaside meal at the set course. Snag a souvenir from F&J Sam's Tradables and Trinkets, and if you're church-going people, I'm not. Take some time for a reflection with our own preacher Blue
good.
Bond at the Chapel of the Mother's Arms. Now, we've got a bit of a reputation for some of the mysterious going on our fair island, and any of our locals will answer all questions you have. But I know what you're really here for, the Winnowing Festival. Yes, our island has a special little harvest festival ready for you and your appetites with some of the most delectable fruit and vegetables on our green territory.
That's the name of the world, yeah.
Territory, yes. We give thanks to Terra Matria for these gifts by using all of the unneeded parts and leaving to garment. Lord, what?
You know,
am
you
I
just get
in
hella
school?
wordy.
What is this?
I mean, reading when people are watching, like knowing the pressure's on is hard,
It's
but
the
I
worst.
like to think that his captain gave him a new script to read and that
Yeah,
he
he
didn't
is-
look over it. So
100%.
like he's just like, this is not what I usually say.
Yeah.
You know?
He's literally just reading over, like he has like a piece of paper and he's just like reading it. And he's just like shaking his head like, Jesus Christ, like what is all of these words? He's like, yeah, and leaving to garment ourselves in her visage for this special occasion. Even if the sights, smells, tastes, and trails of Maralone are new to you, will make you feel right at home. And he, as he finishes that, he just goes, or, just get drunk, have fun, walk around the island, buy some shit. Either which way is fine with me, honestly. And, if you feel if you would like to, feel free to buy me a drink. I just had to read all this. Please, someone get me a drink. Thank you. Have a great time. Please do not jump off of the boat. That would be great. I would not like to swim after you. Okay.
Everyone kind of claps and goes, I think a passenger does come up and hand you a drink, and it's like, looks like you might need this if you have to keep doing that all day.
Lord, dude, it's crazy. It's like I've been working here for like a while now, and it's like usually I just go up there, freestyle it, but no, she wants me to read this like paper. Like, what? Insane.
You did a good job with it.
He's just like this to this stranger. He's just like Bene is just like unloading all of this like fresh, like he's just like unloading onto this stranger who really did not ask for this. He's just like, yeah, can you believe this shit? Like, I didn't come to work at all last week, but like, making me do all this?
He nods and is kind of like, yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. Well, you're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
And I think at this point, during like every tourist cruise that you have to do, Bene will go check on the captain back in the her main quarters. So you head over to the main deck where Captain Yasley operates the ship and gets us where we're going. And before you even get there, the door kind of cracks open and you see these two eyes peering out. And she goes, Bene, come here. Bene, come on.
Bene pretends not to hear.
Bene, I know you can hear me. I can see. I can see you right there.
If I
I'm speaking loud enough.
If I stand perfectly still, they will go away. No, Bene turns like, what's up?
Just come here for a second.
Bene walks over.
She opens the door and lets you in, and you see your main boss, Captain Yasley Nuzu, who's this older turtle woman, and she's wearing this naval officer's uniform, actually, but it's clearly kind of like old and worn and aged, and perhaps, with her turtle frame, when she first had it, when she was younger, it fit her a little bit awkwardly, but now it's kind of gone in the opposite direction where she's kind of slimmed down. She's a little bit tinier in her old age. So it kind of hangs off her a little bit.
Is she a turtle?
Yeah, she's a turtle now. I changed it up.
Okay.
Is that good with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
We did turtle first, but then I was like, oh, but the normal turtle age is like 50 when they pass away. But then I realized we're the masters of this universe and we can do whatever we
Yeah.
want.
Love it.
So she's probably in her like 120s, 130s.
Real turtles live forever.
Real turtles do live
I always
forever.
thought that was a weird choice that turtle ages are so like short. That seems the opposite of what we know about turtles.
I saw
Right.
something online that was like, oh, because they have like a human or bipedal physiology, that's why their lives are short. And I'm like,
That's it.
are we sure? we sure? But
So I guess elves just look like giant spiders then.
Right.
She has this worn tricorner hat on as well. She goes, how did the strip go this time? Did it go well?
Long-winded. You could maybe, cut back a bit.
And she takes it out of your hand. She's like, but I just want people to like understand how much the island has to offer, like
I think they'll get that, once they get to the island. We don't have to, Also, we're advertising for other places now? Like,
well, we're just trying to showcase all the different things that they can do on the island.
can we just give them a brochure or something? Like, why are
Benny, this is why you're around. For ideas like this.
Benny. Bene is like, thank you. Thank you so much.
And also just to I don't like to be around people very much at all. And you do such a great job with it.
Who wouldn't want to be around you? You're great. You're great.
She smiles and kind of looks at her hands and wrings them a little bit. I was like, that's very kind of you to say. Now
Truth, girl.
Oh, Benny. Okay. Would you do me the favor, and of course we've done this every time, but make sure all the passengers get off the boat. As usual, you take care of the people, I'll take care of the boat.
Gotcha.
Sound good?
I was thinking maybe, hear me out. We crash the ship. And then, hear me out. I know where you're going. We crash the ship and then we just don't do this anymore. Hear me, you don't have to deal with people and we don't have to do this anymore.
What would we do otherwise?
The world is our oyster, we can do whatever you want, girl. Like we can,
Benny, Benny.
Just marinate on it.
I'm allergic to oysters. I can't have oysters.
Well, I don't know any other seafood metaphor that makes sense. So,
the trip goes on. Everything goes according to plan. You go and check on Pier and Crest for the fire and water genasi, who together kind of they create steam, which makes the ship run. And they're just chilling out on beachside chairs, reading with one hand, and then they both have their hands out and they're creating fire and water. And they're
Bene walks up to them and he's just like, how crazy is it that you both have this job? Like, it's very specific,
Something that's very strange about them is that you can tell their relationship is very close, but you, for the life of you, cannot figure out what it is. Are they brothers? Are they sisters? Are they brother and sister? Are they lovers? They're just kind of this intensely androgynous pair who speak at the same time. They're so on the same page. And you've never seen them apart from one another.
Bene doesn't judge them, but Bene doesn't understand.
Yeah.
he's just like, why? He's like, can y'all it's a little creepy, guys. You when you talk at the same time, it's a little bit creepy.
Oh, what was the question that you just asked them?
He's just like, oh, isn't it so crazy y'all have this job? It's very specific to what you two do.
At the same time, they both say, I suppose it's crazy, but when you find someone that you work well with, you just kind of don't want to let them go, They don't blink as they stare at you.
Benny's just like, I guess so. Yeah, I just feel a little bit left out, honestly.
Well, you can come get drinks with us sometime, you know?
No,
It's always an option.
I want to be like in this. He just like he motions to them like he's being completely full of shit, but he's just like, I just feel a little bit left out, guys.
They look at one another and they're like, oh, maybe someday when you're ready.
You just keep dangling your fruits in front of me, but one day.
So you dock at Hurryback Harbor, formerly Hangman Harbor, and you are helping people disembark. You're getting people off the ship, and down the gangplank is this little tiefling fellow. He has these large square glasses, which magnify his eyes to make them look adorably large. And he's wearing, what were you gonna say?
I'm so I promise I won't do too many interruptions, but I watched Freaks and Geeks for the first time, like all the way through. And Martin Starr's character, just his glasses, like his eyes are just so huge the whole show. And so my mind just immediately went to that.
It's 1,000% that specific vibe.
Yeah, love it.
But he's wearing this dark blue woolen sweater with gray woolen trousers and boots appropriate for working on the dock. Everyone else is kind of dressed down into kind of vacation gear, but you know that this young gentleman, Qell Carrington, kind of runs cold. So he's always kind of bundled up.
What's his name?
Qell Carrington.
That's literally my buddy's name.
Wait, like first and last name? It's the same name?
No. His first name's Qell, though.
Okay. I was like, whoa.
My friend is also a tiefling in real life.
Whoa, that's crazy. And he's the assistant to the dockmaster, Laszlo Metalwhip. But you also know that he has carried a torch for Bene for quite a while. And as the people kind of clear out, it's like, hello, Bene. How are you today?
Hey, Qell, I'm good. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing really well. I'm excited for the Winnowing Festival. I think it's going to be really good. I got you something. Yeah, I know you're coming up on like your anniversary of working on the ship, and
How do you know that?
Don't worry about it. I got you. The Winnowing Festival is a special time, so I got you this. And he produces this lighter, and he hands it to you, and he goes, "It's a lighter, and it will work in any surrounding. So you can use it underwater. You can use it, and there's not air. It's very useful, very very useful. And I hope that you enjoy it."
Bene is just like, I don't have anything for you.
Oh no, I didn't expect you to at all. No, it's fine.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean,
yes,
thank
all,
you. Yes, this is very nice of you. I appreciate the gift. He like flicks it. He's just, what kind of lighter is it? Is it like one that's like a Zippo lighter where it like you like pop it open and it like has a little thing, or is it just I think that's cooler than just like
you
a
want
little
the flip one?
Bic. Yeah, not like a Bic lighter.
It's one of those lighters that flicks open. What do you think is on the case? Is there kind of a symbol that Bene is associated with? It could be just a seashell.
I think maybe because Benny's always wearing like it's oh, this is cute. What if on it it's just like a little chibi version of Bene? Like it's just like this cute little, it's like it has like this like little shirt, has like this sunglasses and his hair, and he's just like a little chibi like version of him.
I painted that actually myself. Yeah. So
he's like this. he's like, this looks just like me. I will now use this as identification. Thank you.
That's very funny. It's very, very silly. And as this conversation is kind of dying out, you see behind Qell is your old swordmaster, Qell Lightfall. And by him is Mayor Desmond. They're both wearing the exact same naval uniform that Yadley is wearing. They all served together in the war that happened 100 years ago, which is, you would know, it's a war called the War After the End of the World, which we'll get more context for later. But they come rushing up the gangplank, and Qell goes, well, if it isn't my old apprentice, Bene Anjaro. And Qell is this
SMR.
man strapping, is pretty far along in age, has just kept it super tight all these years.
Oh, he's on
so
it.
ripped.
He is not. People, I'll say that Bene, people think that people assume that that's his dad. But he's like, he's not my dad.
So good. Oh, and yeah, I think he has like this silver hair strung back into a little bit of a ponytail. Again, Mayor Desmond, half-elf guy, boyish face with a coif of graying hair. And Qell comes up to you and goes, how are you keeping my sword these days? And he, do you have your sword on you? Like, is it on your back? Okay.
Always on me, yeah.
He's gonna try to take it from you. So let's do opposed sleight of hand check.
Oh, perfect.
First roll of the game.
Opposed sleight of hand?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's
what did you get?
I rolled a 14, 15, 16, 17.
He got an 8. So he reaches for the sword, and do you think you kind of like shrug back that side of your?
I just slap his hand. I'm like, no. You gave it to me. You cannot take it back. This is mine now.
Well, it looks like those skills I taught you have not yet rusted away with this little fancy job you got here on the boat. And he's
like, I love that you take credit for this.
Oh, who else would have taught you this? And he's also kind of being tongue-in-cheek about you working on the boat, because I think he recommended you to Yasli for this job.
He's like, you did this to me. You got me this job. You did this.
Yeah, and I hear you are doing it spectacularly. Now, where is that old portal woman? And can we get a little look at her? Because we haven't seen our friend in a minute.
I locked her in the brig.
No, you didn't. And she comes up behind you.
Did I?
Just Benny, stop it.
How did you get out?
You'll never know.
I'm replacing the locks.
She has the knock spell. But she they all get together, they start reminiscing. And
Benny is slowly stepping away from them talking.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Where is Benny stepping? He's stepping off the boat to take a little break.
Well, we're like docked, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's like getting off.
Yeah.
Well, are they like are they still talking to me, or does it seem like they're kind of just all
they've fallen into conversation with one another?
Yeah. Benny just kind of looks and he sees a Qell, and then he sees the group of people, and he's just like, I don't want either of this. I don't want either these things. I mean, he's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
So you head out to the bathroom, and I think as you go, you look out over little tourism district, this harbor. This is your home, and you see a bunch of different people enjoying the festival. You've got traders from all over the island and some from Bushan as well coming, and they're in this main little town square selling their items. Shows are going on. It's beautiful, and you see many people wearing costumey clothing made out of natural materials, and it's awesome.
Nice.
And I think with that, unless there's anything else you want to say. What were you going to say?
I want him to go. Bene says he's gonna go to the bathroom, but then he really just sneaks off and goes to like the closest like bar or like tavern that he knows that's close by.
Oh yeah, you go to the Half Flown Flag, which is just where all the locals go basically, but it's in this immediate tourism district.
And he is still on the clock, Bene, but he's like,
he's taking a break. He knows they're going to be there for a while. Yeah. And so with that, as we follow Bene through the crowd, I think we turn our way over to another part of the harbor, the docks, where Calanthe prepares her ship with her crew for a little bayside expedition. So what's Calanthe doing?
Calanthe is, you see, a coral pink tiefling, but that's not all, because just for a mechanical sense, Calanthe is what I have created to be a coral tiefling, which means she is also half genasi, so she does not have a tail. But you see a coral pink tiefling with braided light blue hair that's in multiple braids tight to the scalp, going down and cascading down back. Her most notable feature, I would say, is that she has what could be mistaken as little antlers, but they're actually little growths of coral that grow out of her head about here. And they're dotted with a little darker pink than her actual skin color. And she's wearing a loose piratey blouse thing, not unlike this, except for her, the tits are threatening to come out at all times. She has like brown capri pants on with like piratey boots that do cover the capri pants, but if she has her boots off, they're capris all the way. She can't have stand things around her ankles for some reason. And at her, yeah, I think she would wear them pretty much all the time, especially if she's going on tour. She has 2 cutlasses at her side, and 1 flintlock pistol at her back. She has 1 huge golden piercing pupilless eye, and the other eye, her left eye, is covered by a eye patch. And you can, peeking out from under the eye patch, it's quite a big scar, so the eye patch doesn't cover it all. You can see this sort of scarred tissue that's well healed. It's been a while, but it looks pretty gnarly. And yeah, I think she's just doing final checks before letting people on to the boat, to the ship.
Yeah, I think that you're finishing up your final checks, and you definitely check that secret hatch. I think we can kind of build this boat together, but how I was picturing it is it's kind of one of those see-through glass bottom catamarans. So there's a rows of seats out, kind of outlining a main deck that you can see through and look at all the things that are going on the ocean floor. And then behind that and slightly raised is your helm, essentially, where you guide the ship and give the different facts about the touristy parts of the island. Does that sound good?
I definitely was thinking it was more of a traditional ship where everyone is above deck, just because if there are people going between above and below, things could get messy with that transition. But I do like the idea of having a bottom glass element to the ship.
Well, I wasn't thinking they were actually below deck. They're technically within the sun's rays. It's kind of like a forward part of the deck that doesn't really interact with your back portion, which is where all the machinery and stuff goes on.
Yeah. Okay.
That sound good? Okay, perfect. So yeah, I think your 2 companions, Chadney and Kyleson, are doing the opposite of what Akil was just doing, which is taking money from people, getting them signed in to get onto this boat.
Yes.
Can you describe Chadney and Kyleson for us?
Okay, so Chadney, you see a 5'8". Oh, I should have mentioned. Calanthe is like 5'9",
Nice.
looks to be about 29. Chadney is about 5'8", 5'7", just a little bit shorter. Half elf has essentially what I got going on with like darker roots and lighter tips. That goes to about his jaw. He looks to be about 27. And he has like a really kind of sad weaselly mustache that he's trying to grow in, but she's trying so hard, but it's not really working. But no one has the heart to break it to him. So they just let him think that it's like the best mustache ever. And Kyleson is a little bit older than Calanthe, about 31, 32. He is about 6'1". He is a green half orc, but a very deep green. His tan seemed to have manifested in just getting a darker green. And he has red, like burgundy almost hair that sort of poofs out. And he has like a ponytail in the back. And he is, he's just like standing a little bit taller. Pretty much just making sure that people take Chadney seriously.
They're so adorable. I love them so much. I think, have you finished preparing the ship?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you maybe then give them the cue to start loading people on.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes them a second to see you. You see they're deep in discussion about something. They keep looking over at someone. But they start letting people onto the ship, and they're still talking. They pay close attention to one satyr woman as she walks by. And they kind of lean in close, and they're looking at her, and then they keep discussing with themselves. Finally, they get everyone onto the boat. They pull themselves on, pull back whatever is tethering you to the harbor, and they come up to you and they're like, well, Chadney is like, okay, look, can you like settle a dispute for us? Because we're really kind of tripping right now. And Kyleson was like, no, dude, it's totally her. It's totally her. Like, I swear. And so Chadney's like, hey, look at this satyr woman that's sitting in kind of like the middle on the right side. Do you know who she is? And you can roll a history check if you want.
Sure. I'm not too good at those.
Oh,
It's a 15.
That's pretty good. She looks familiar to you, but since I know that you don't go to the port of Vushan very often, it's probably just like a minor recollection. But Kyleson goes, oh, Captain, that's Sammy Steenwise. He's like a really famous bard, like really, really famous. And Chadney is like, yeah, like when we go over to Vushan, we hear her songs all the time. All the bards like to sing them, and they're about like adventures from the past and things that happened like a long time ago, but they have this kind of like modern vibe to them. They're really good. And let's see. With a nat 20 perception check, Sammy Steenwise goes, oh, are you talking about? Oh, and she's very tastefully dressed in a loose white blouse that is open, revealing a pale blue kind of bikini top beneath, but it's one of those like infinity ones that kind of just wrap around. I don't know what those are called. But she has a big sun hat on and these massive, perfectly round reflective glasses, which she then takes off and throws into the ocean behind her. And you see under this midi skirt that she has are these kind of burgundy furred satyr legs. She goes, oh my God, like, I was trying to kind of be incognito, but if you already know who I am, like, I'm just gonna, let it all out. Yeah, I'm Sammy Steenwise. I'm a bard, and I've heard a lot of things about this island, so I wanted to like come and check it out and hear about all the mystery stuff that's going on here. So yeah, like I'm ready to get this show on the road whenever you are. And she looks at Calanthe.
Calanthe will look at her, sort of down her nose.
Yeah.
And we'll just say, well, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And then we'll turn to Chadney and Carlson and whisper, better make sure we put on a good show. Savvy?
Carlson's like, oh, you got it. And Chadney's like, yeah, Captain, for sure.
And Calanthe will walk to the bridge and take the wheel in her hands and say, weigh the anchor and hoist the mizzen.
They do those things. And you guys disembark from the harbor going. So if we're thinking about the Hurryback Harbor and the tourism industry, it's like 6 o'clock on a clock. You guys go counterclockwise around the island. So I think I sent you some background stuff as well, which I would love if you would read, and feel free to paraphrase as you see fit.
Yes, let me pull it up.
You gotta impress Ariana Fonde.
As you guys settle into this ride, you can tell that more people are starting to notice her. And she is definitely a point of interest.
Let's see. I don't think the tour is visual. It's like a Jungle Cruise. There's no actual real information given. So I think as they're going through these things, it's sort of like a very like, and here's this, look at it, wow, amazing, and here's that. So they're going. And she's like, welcome aboard your tour to the exotic and beautiful sights Maralone has to offer. I'm your captain, Calanthe. And they go, she's like yada yadas until they get to, I've brought you to the beautiful gates of Guardios. Inside those gates live the Ashak Mar. We know them as the Sea Elves, although they don't call themselves that. Look at how pretty their gates are. If any of you decide to go into the waters yourself, please make sure to steer clear of these gates. They don't like it. And I'm pretty sure they will get hostile if we get too close.
Everyone on the boat sees in the water, just a bit out from the coastline is these large coral gates that are kind of formed into a circle. And the gates are at each cardinal point. But it's just this massive structure of beautiful coral, intricately weaved together, that form these beautiful gates. And you see Sammy raise her hand.
Okay. Yep.
Can we get tours of that though? Like, could I pay someone to like take me in there? Because that's kind of part of the reason why I'm here, is I really wanted to see that.
Unfortunately, the Ashakmar are not interested in interacting with us dry walkers. Is that what you said they were?
Drylanders?
Drylanders. And no one is allowed to go over there with or without supervision.
But what if we have like a lot of money and are famous and can kind of like pay for it?
I can guarantee that they do not care about your money or your fame.
Oh. Huh.
Now,
Okay.
if you look to your starboard side.
Yeah, I think she shuts up after that.
Would you believe
What?
would it make sense if in that moment the gates, which are like glinting off all of these different colors in the sunlight, there's just this weird like Pirates of the Caribbean pulse when the medallion hits the water, you know what I mean? That just sort of like poof, and just there's like this little wave that comes from the gates that just, and then just ever so slightly splashes up on this lady.
Yeah, I'll buy that. She goes like, oh, good thing I have a change of clothes. doesn't really process it as a warning sign. And I think maybe the cruise continues on after that, or the tour rather.
Mhm. Now, if you look over here, we have the long way down. Basically, a very famous. Was she a pirate?
Yeah, she was a pirate.
A very famous pirate by the name of Gwenrys Rubichin has said to have buried her treasure on this island, and no one's been able to find it. Basically, the long way down is a really, really, really deep hole. And everyone just like dug until they couldn't dig anymore. And now apparently it's a tourist attraction.
And so you're in the water and you're looking up to basically the top of the mountain, and you see the cave entrance there, which holds the long way down. And that descends and should intersect directly with the sea cave under it. But of course, part of the mystery of the long way down is that it doesn't ever intersect with anything. It just keeps going. So yeah, you have this sea cave below it as well.
Now, if you look to your port side, I'm just making this up. You'll see the sea sun stones. That's S-O-N, not S-U-N. These incredibly ancient icons of our island each share the visage of the same Triton man, who we've decided is the minor god of our little Eldorus Sea. We don't know where they came from, and we don't know how they got here, but they seem to protect the island from any manner of maelstrom to storm. So we just sort of pay reverence to them. Well, some of us pay reverence to them, and believe that they protect us. Aren't they cool looking?
Sammy has her hand up once again. So you just don't know like where they're from? Like they're just there?
As far as I am aware, in my research that I've done and all the stories I've heard, yes, they just seem to be here.
And I can go see those, right? Like I can go over to this part of the island.
She can, right?
She can. Yeah.
Yes, as long as you just don't do anything to them, such as vandalize or you can go and investigate and look yourself.
Okay, great. Maybe this won't be so boring after all. And yeah, I think with that, your tour starts to kind of wrap up. But you do part of your service is that you say that you will show them, I think, like 4 to 5 exotic sites or animals or whatever. And I think you're missing a few right now. You haven't really seen any animals out and about. Does Calanthe want to do what she usually does to kind of turn the tides in her favor?
So Calanthe will say, now I must do a mid-tour check of everything just to make sure everything's going smoothly. So I will leave you in Chadney and Kyleson's capable hands while I go below decks and just to make sure everything's tip-top shape. And so she'll go down. And I think she will turn into... Let's do a dolphin. So she'll turn into a dolphin. I think it will sort of be this like slightly blue, slightly seafoam pattern dolphin. I think one of the things is there are sort of more colorful sea animals here just in general, and she uses that to her advantage. And so she will go down, and at the back of the ship, they're very close to the water, so she doesn't really make a splash sound. There is this secret hatch that she uses to turn into animals with her wild shape and entertain the tour if it's not already naturally exciting enough. So she will turn into a dolphin in this instance, and now will come up by the ship and start doing fun dolphin stunts.
You hear Chadney's voice over like the microphone or whatever you have, like, okay, y'all, it's gonna be what is she today? Oh, it's a dolphin. Okay. And he pulls out laminated dolphin facts. Dolphins are marine animals, and they must surface to breathe air and give birth to living young. Dolphin pregnancy lasts between 9 and 16 months. The mother feeds her offspring on milk, and the sons and daughters of resident orcas stay with their maternal family for life. And he continues to. So good.
He's so dumb.
You really just had some dolphin facts ready, like right there.
Yeah. Did I just swiftly Google dolphin facts? And am I on us.wales.org? Yes. And so this kind of continues on. One more thing for Sammy. Very good. What does Calanthe do to kind of entertain as the dolphin?
I mean, we all love the sick stunts that dolphins can do, such as jumping and flipping. The thing where they do their tail, which I don't think is a natural thing. I think that's a SeaWorld training thing.
Yeah.
But like Calanthe's a smart dolphin. She can do that. She can do the little like bow, 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 bow across the water.
Calanthe works at SeaWorld. No way.
No. And yeah, stuff like that.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that
maybe she can even like she'll dive down really low and she'll build up so much momentum that she can cross the entire ship.
Oh,
nice. Oh, that's sick. That's so sick. Some Free Willy shit. And the audience is just so entertained, delighted to see this dolphin roaming about and having so much fun. And as you pull back into the harbor, I think you get back into you wild shape out of it, get back into the hatch, and maybe you have a pair of clean clothes of the same clothes ready to change back into.
I don't think that she's wet.
Okay,
I think
yeah,
if she like hops into the ship before she turns back, I think her clothes are just dry because they into her. So
that sounds good to me. I vibe with that. Chatty and Kyleson help people get off the boat, and you come up and say goodbye as well. And Sammy comes up to you and is like, that was like some pretty cool magic you did back there. Like, don't worry, I won't tell anyone, like one shapeshifter to another. And she uses this guy's self to turn herself into someone who looks completely different. And it's like, hope to see you around. Do you say anything to her?
I don't think so. I think it's a very like kind of vibe.
The only vibe she deserves.
Yeah, I think it's just sort of like a thank you for enjoying our tour.
And you see Chadney and Kyleson, we've talked about this. They're simps for you. They've followed you to the ends of the earth and back. And you see them for the first time, their attention not fully wrapped by you, but watching this other woman walk away.
I think like it's sort of like Calanthe is at the bottom and they're at the top of the gangplank. So as Calanthe is walking up to as she passes through both of them, she'll to their jaws just go like that to close, close their jaws.
Oh, good.
And she'll just go, "Blimey. Is it me, or are the guests getting more and more annoying?"
Oh yeah, they're so annoying. They're so annoying. Yeah. They both agree and nod along with you. And you guys have a little break now. Do you think you go over to that Half-Flown Flag Tavern as well to take a little pit stop?
Yeah, I think that happens right before Bene walks in. And so when Bene walks in, it's sort of a cut to Calanthe just decking someone who she usually fights, and it's chill. Like,
yeah.
Calanthe only fights people who want to fight. She doesn't start fights with people who are not interested. So this person was definitely down. Definitely felt the vibe of Calanthe needing to get out some annoyed energy, but that's what Bene sees when he walks in.
You're just so amped up from performing scenes from everyone's favorite fantasy appropriate stage play, Liberated William.
Liberated William.
Liberated William. That's excellent. What does Benny do when he sees that?
Bene sees Calanthe just like deck a dude, and he's just like, before 11? Wow, this is a record.
It's been a rough morning.
And does Benny sit with the above board crew?
Yeah, Bene has the hugest crush on Chadney.
The lanky, scrawny one?
Yeah, but in a way that he's just more like he's not being like it's not so much that he's like trying to like get him to like date Benny. Benny doesn't want to date him. Benny is just very.
It's not an Qell situation.
Well, Benny doesn't know how he feels about Qell. He's just like, you're here. Thank you for being here, I guess. But it's more so he's like just so interested in someone being such a simp for one of his friends. He's just like, wow, that's like good for you. But he kind of loves it. He's kind of like a himbo, you know? He's just kind of like, oh, you're dumb, but you're cute.
Yeah.
I love that. And as you guys sit down for a little spot of lunch before you guys have to keep on going with your tours and treks back and forth through Schwan, you see Mayor Calamine Desmond comes in again and comes over to your table. And you know him as someone who just perpetually looks like he's about to jump out of his skin, like he's so stressed all the time, but he's really trying to repress it for the Winnowing Festival. He's like, hi, guys. I hope that you guys are having fun today. Benny, you rushed away and I didn't get to ask you. Calanthe, you as well. Could I rely on you guys to do kind of the dead of night watch shift over at the back dock tonight?
Ooh, you know, when is that?
And it would, you would have time. Nothing's gonna happen out there, definitely. But you'd have time to like have dinner and drink and hang out a little bit and enjoy the festival. But then just go, station up, post up back out there.
I have a thing at that exact time. I am so sorry.
Oh,
I have a thing. I honestly, if you had asked me a little bit sooner, if you had mentioned this earlier, I would have been free. But right now, I'm just booked.
What are you booked with?
There's this. I don't know if you've heard about it. There's this festival tonight. I'm gonna be there, and I will probably be drunk. So, I don't know if I can make it.
Well, what's gonna be great is I can have someone transport all of your drunk asses over to the back docks, free of charge. It's all good as long as you do this for me. I promise I will pay you.
Oh.
I don't work past 10 p.m. So you best pay time and a half at least.
Okay.
Calanthe's always trying to get time and a half.
Yeah, I love it's just time and a half.
Yeah, I'll even give you time times 2. If you would do this for me. I totally forgot to get someone to do this, and I desperately need you to do it. Please.
I mean, can we get free drinks during the festival?
Yes, I can make that happen.
Yes. Like, Calanthe just turns to Benny and like asks for like little daps.
Yeah, it's just like boom. It's like, I got you.
And he's like, great. Okay, we'll have some horses or like some carriage ready to take you over there tonight. Just so you know, you are going to be working with Qell and that journalist Marius again. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you later.
You said this after we agreed. Like I feel like you misled us.
I'll give you booze to bring out with you to the back dock, so you can just continue to drink there. Does that sound good?
Double time and a half.
Triple time.
Yeah.
2.5 times.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final
Yeah.
chapter prologue.
Final chapter drunk.
Yep.
Asleep while rebirth while asleep.
Back cover.
As your complaints are raised to the ceiling of this tavern, we find our way back out of the tavern. We soar high up in the air, getting a downwards view, an aerial view of Vushan, or not Vushan, whoa, Maralone. We find our way over to the great gates of Guardios. Now we descend into the encircling gates of Guardios, and into the waters of the Ashak Mar. Living inside of Guardios is very much a bigger on the inside kind of situation. Within the walls, it's spacious enough to accommodate anything and everything that the Ashak Mar could desire. Guardios naturally creates this ecosystem which brings critters of the sea in serving much the same function as a normal coral reef, but the underlying suggestion is that these creatures could sustain the Ashak Mar if necessary, but that's never really been a problem before. Lying just under the surface, closest to the sun's rays, we find the meeting room of the Council of the Coral Keep. It's a large room made of this coral so finely pressed together that it begins to almost look like these striations of granite. The room is a technicolor rainbow, with the predominant color being pink mixed in with blues, yellows, greens, and so on. Light refracts through the surface of the water, illuminating 6 stately chairs which grow from the ground in a circle, with the center of that circle being a large table. The Council of the Coral Keep is the force which largely governs what needs to be governed within Guardios, and it always has 5 representatives that are selected by Guardios at regular intervals, with the 6th position being honorarily filled by Guardios' chosen ambassador to the, is it Drywalker?
Drylander.
Drylander world. And we find, sitting in one of these chairs, the current ambassador of Guardios to the Drylander world, Qell. Ian, can you give us the lowdown on Qell? What does he look like?
What's
What's
the
his
hat?
vibe? What's the haps?
So Qell is, of course, of the Ashak Mar. He has deep, dark blue skin with some black patterning along his shoulders, down the sides of his neck, and up curling around his jawline, kind of spirals here. He also has these 3 black sort of diamond shapes at his forehead, and a few little darker, well, actually kind of big, darker freckles just in the corners behind his huge black shining eyes. He also has a slitted nose, as all the Ashak Mar do, these big gills on his neck, and he is age is difficult to tell on these guys, but he definitely looks like a young athletic man, very much like superhero body. And as a sea creature man, he is very much no shoes, no shirt, all service. The only clothes that he's wearing are just sort of like flowing black pants that sort of flow in the water, with a jewel encrusted belt that he wears that might actually like signify his status, perhaps. He has a necklace that has a very large tooth dangling around his neck on a simple black cord. And I think one of the most notable things about him would be his hair. All the Ashak Mar, instead of having hair, they actually have these jellyfish-like tendrils that grow from their head, and they grow longer with age. His at the moment are kind of just past shoulder length on him, and they fade from the color of his blue skin down to like a purple, and then eventually a pink to kind of a white. And underwater here in the dark waters, they actually are bioluminescent and glow. So they always are kind of circling around in the water and giving off this faint glow at the moment. And he also, carrying across his back on just a simple, like very nice brown leather strap across his shoulders, are these 2 huge curved kind of question mark shaped swords. And they seem to be made of the same material, the same coral material as Guardios itself, but it's been chiseled down into these fine, very sharp, very hardened blades that glitter with that same multicolored sort of dusting that catches the light in different ways. And at the moment, Qell is sitting up perfectly straight. His feet aren't up, but one foot is just sort of tapping. He looks like he's doing his best to keep engaged in what's happening and to just like keep his eyes on them. But you can tell, and he's not hiding very well, or even really trying to hide very well, that he doesn't really want to be here. He is ready to just go.
First off, Daddy? Second off, yeah.
He's hot.
He's hot, yeah.
Oh, I forgot the Vaporeon ears.
Oh, yeah.
Get
Wait,
the three-pronged aquatic Vaporeon ears.
Abe Sapien mouth.
And the Abe Sapien fish mouth, yeah.
Love it. Love it. And you're surrounded by the 5 other members of the Council of the Coral Keep, which kind of breaks down into a gradient of there's like 2 older, 2 middle-aged, and then 1 younger, with you technically being the other younger member. But you have kind of, you would agree, kind of limited governmental power within this institution, right?
Yeah. And if he has it, he doesn't use it.
Yeah. It's
Ambassador is basically just like the closest translation of what he does, but he's not really meant to be having any sort of real dynamic relationship publicly with the surface dwellers. There's just no better word really for what he is and what he does.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's more of an agent.
Well, I have a question, actually.
Hit it.
Yeah.
Inside of their home, is it like, is it, this is, I don't even know how to word this. I'm imagining like when you go inside, is it still full of water, or is it like you go in and then you're like in my mind it's like a giant shell basically, and you're like,
it's kind of an open
inside.
Concept in a weird sort of a way. Do you mind if I take this, Rick?
Go for it, yeah.
So what I picture is this huge bunch of structures that if you look carefully enough, you can see how they're connected. But sometimes, it goes deep underground as well and comes back up. So there are places where you can't see where it's connected. So it doesn't look like just one structure, but it's all made of the same stuff. But there are all of these different like spiraling towers and like domed houses and structures and buildings, but they're all interconnected through these bridges or through just open. There aren't really doors a lot of the time. It's a very like integrated society where you can all kind of see everyone most of the time. Not a lot of privacy. There are private rooms. This is one such private room, but it is a very open, structured place. So the water is just all around and in.
Can I throw out something that I was thinking when kind of describing it in my brain was almost like MC Escher-esque, where it's these impossible angles and stuff that all formulate into this one structure. And I was feeling kind of like, so Guardios has a psychic and emotional connection with all of the Ashakmar. It's just that Qell is the number one. You have unfiltered access to Guardios and can talk to, are they gendered?
No.
Talk to them as if they were.
Yeah, they're definitely not.
Yeah, talk to them as if they were just a person in your life. And what I was thinking is, since you all have this connection with Guardios, no matter, if you think about the place you want to go, you'll get there no matter where you yourself physically go. Like if you move through the space, it will get you there. Do you like that? Okay.
Yeah, as long as it wants you to go there.
Exactly. Yes.
That makes sense. And there's kind of a loose understanding that if you don't get there, then you're not supposed to.
Yeah. So the other council members are Treg and Perlise. They're an older man, male and female Ashakmar. There's Lenok. They're a middle-aged individual who tends to the ecosystem of Guardios and the animals that pass through. There's Shelka, a middle-aged woman who's a musician, and finally Amados, who is your peer, and is a fellow warrior who defends Guardios from unwanted predators, whether they be drylander or otherwise. And so as your meeting is coming to an end, and Treg, who's been leading it, says, All right, now it's time to wrap up with what honestly is probably the main business of this meeting, which is the Drylander Winnowing Festival. It is a harvest festival that unfortunately brings many, many, many people from the continent to this island. So it is critical that we protect ourselves and do not let any of our cultural heritage and we can't allow them to taint this place. And this is certainly an opportunity for that to happen in a more substantial way than at any other point during the year. Now, I'm aware that many of our younger Ashakmar enjoy the dry land, and I cannot control what they choose to do when they are on the dry land, nor can anyone on this council, but you, Qell, are a representative of the Ashakmar. So, while you can be nice to the Drylanders, while you can entertain them, you must, as I know you are prone to do, never boast about our culture, never boast about our heritage, never boast about all the many, many resources and the pleasant life that we maintain within Guardios, who is kind enough to offer it to us. You understand?
I assume we're speaking Ashok in this time, right?
Yeah, you are definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So he replies, still in Ashok.
Yeah.
I can promise you, council members, I will do whatever is necessary to protect the ties that bind this place.
And you will not perform your wild fantasy of bringing Drylanders to experience what Guardios has to offer, will you? They will all stay away, yes.
He scoots his chair back and he stands. He says, "Fear not. None will be coming here. Not at the
Good.
moment."
Report yourself accordingly. Don't do anything that you'll regret, and we should get through these next few days without issue.
Esteemed council members, do I appear to you a man who harbors regrets? And he bows very deeply. And he comes back up only halfway, but he raises his chin up to them and flashes this big smile, all teeth. And when he flashes his teeth, you can see that he does have like particularly like sharp canines for munching on fish.
You don't seem like a man who harbors regrets, and I think that is what concerns all of the council the most. Your friend Amadeus kind of just shrugs at you. It's like he is ready to also dip and get out of here. He wants to go to the Winnowing Festival as well. The meeting is called and adjourned. Everyone goes their separate ways. You standing on your 2 feet, I think, is quite a powerful point because, as we've discussed, the Ashakmar have the opportunity to grow kind of dry walker legs during the earlier part of their life if they choose to do that, which previously not many have done. And it is possible to attain the ability to walk on land later in life. It's just much more difficult, kind of like
They can all
language.
walk on, sorry.
Yeah,
They
no,
can
go-
all
no,
walk
go
on
for it,
land.
yeah.
Yeah, we've all got legs. We've all got
Yeah.
fins on our arms and legs and webbed feet and stuff. Yeah, it's less about being able to walk on land and more about being able to breathe.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you can build that breathing ability later in life, but it is just very difficult. But yeah, I do think people don't quite often stand here. People just kind of float. So you standing on this coral ground is somewhat of a statement. And meeting adjourns. Amadeus is like, "Hey, I'll catch you out there. What are we gonna get up to today?"
Is he still speaking in Ashok?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. Well, I've attended such festivals, but the festivals are every year, right? This particular
Yes, they are,
festival
yeah,
happens
yeah.
every year. Okay, so it's safe to say I've been to other ones.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
He goes, the festivals prove a lucrative environment to take in the drylander culture and meet all of these fascinating people, see their smiling faces, what their lives are truly like. My friend, you would not believe the things they say, the things they eat, every smell, every sensation, a new part of my mind that is awakened. And I believe this can be for you as well and for all, whether they see it or not.
Look, I've seen and I I don't believe, but I do enjoy. So I'll be seeing you out there. We'll have a good time, and someday I know we're going to turn this council around.
At our barest minimum, brother, you will share a drink with me and a smile.
That's a promise. So he goes away to get ready. I think. Do you immediately start heading toward, like, out of Guardios and towards the festival?
Yeah, he is in a rush to go.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, as he's swimming, he definitely makes a show of swimming through Guardios before he goes up. So he swims all through the city, and as he's going, he's smiling and he's waving at everybody that he passes as he's just like torpedoing through the water, like.
And you get varying responses. It's as you and I've talked about, kind of a gradient where the older generation is not convinced at all. It's very a bit trepidatious about your role within this community. I think the person who preceded you was much more by the book and did what was expected of them. But, you know, as you get into like the middle-aged people, there are some who wave and full-on smile back, some who are a little unsure and kind of nod, but the younger crowd love you. You are hip to the youth because you are youth. And as you are just about to reach the edge of Guardius, where you can exit through basically any part of the wall and it will open up and let you out. Your little brother runs up to you. Your little brother, whose name is it Fantalon?
Fontayon.
Fontayon. But you call him Fanty. Comes rushing along a passage with his little companion dolphin named Flip. And can you describe Fanty for us?
Sure. So Fanty he's baby. He's only like maybe 9 or 10. So his little tentacles are short and wild at the moment. I don't even think they're long enough to really flow that much. They just sort of jiggle around his head like a little ring of little jelly blobs on his head. Of course, big black eyes and maybe the hint of a strong jaw that will come later in life. We are a lean people because we swim all the time. So it's hard not to like have a certain amount of like tonnage. But for a kid, it seems like he's already going through some small amount of training in a weird sort of a way. Like
so this kid is just, this 5-year-old is just shredded.
It's a little weird. It's a little weird to see. Like I feel like that's something that's happening, and especially since he is sort of being directed toward the life he's being directed toward by his older sister. He is definitely like starting to show signs. I think he's only at the beginning. He is only at the beginning of that training. So he's like shedding off some of his whatever baby pudge is still left. And he just has just big old comically huge eyes that he has not grown into yet. Yep.
Boy eyes, love it.
And I think he's still got his sharpest little baby teeth are still there.
He goes, brother, will you take me to the festival if you please? I've been practicing my breathing above water. I promise I can do it. I can do it.
You have been practicing your breathing, have you, Fanty?
And
how long? How long can you hold your breath?
Can hold my breath for like an hour.
And have you been practicing?
You can roll an insight check to see if he's lying.
particularly good at that.
No, it's all good.
Especially not when I roll a 1.
You can do it advantage since it's your brother.
All right. That's an 11.
Okay. He's probably not telling the truth. He probably has been practicing, but yeah, we can keep it up for now.
Now, remember what I told you. Holding your breath is only the beginning. Eventually, you will not need to hold. You must hold your gills, allow them to seal, to close, to feel the air coat the insides of your lungs until it becomes one with you, and then you shall have no limits.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. And as he is still trying to make his case to you, you see both of your older sister. It's Zaina, right?
Sheena.
Sheena.
Yeah, Sheena, yeah.
Sheena comes because you do the Z with the SH, right? Or Z followed by a vowel is an SH.
Z followed by a vowel followed by an H turns the Z into an SH.
Gotcha. Yeah. So Sheena comes rushing down the same passageway that Calanthe came down.
Mm-hmm.
There you are. I was looking all over for you. Oh, hello, brother.
You embarrass me, Sheena. Do you have no faith that I can protect our young brother? Or that he cannot protect himself?
Oh, I believe he can protect himself. Are you going to that festival?
It is my job, Captain.
Is it? Well, I hope you think more critically about the paradise that we have here and the little bits of it you give away each time you tell a story. Sure, your own exploits are yours to share, but nothing from inside Marius's gates leaves, lest it be tainted. You understand?
He looks for a moment like he's going to say something, but as he looks at her, there is this moment of she is much bigger, and he's a tall built dude, but she is a more intimidating, bigger cut figure with much longer tendrils that flow around her and just hard, angular cheekbones. And he looks at her and there's this flash of something, there's this wince, and he just kind of bites whatever it is down, and he makes the face he is expected to make, and he makes this kind of neutrally warm smile. But of course, and he puts his arm up to his chest, showing thin side out.
Now, I will take our brother away before you influence him anymore. I am supposed to be looking after him while our parents are otherwise engaged today. So.
But of course. And I bend down to him and I rustle his little growing tendrils a little bit, and I look him in the eye and I drop Ashok and begin to speak to him in common. As he and I have been practicing more. I've been teaching him more in secret away from her. And I say to him, now listen well, young Fanti. The most beautiful thing about this story is that it is not about what we give with our words, but what the telling brings us back. We live in a cycle, always. Now run along.
Yes, brother. And he speaks coming back to you and follows Shayna off to wherever they are off to. You exit Guardios. I think every time you leave Guardios, they kind of speak in your ear and are like, come back soon. That's just a kind of see you later. And you find your way to Hurryback Harbor and the tourism district. What is Qell looking to get up to while he's at the Winnowing Festival?
So I don't know if Qell has an appointment to do this, but in his mind he does. So he heads straight to the venue where the festival is being set up. And he just starts doing like a security check, but he's doing it very openly and very publicly. So he is just walking around, waving at people, smiling at people, and he is making a show of like, and he's making a show, but he is also doing it. He's looking at all of the entrances, all of the exits that he can find. He's checking to see how many guards are posted, if he can find anyone to talk to about that, to see how many people are going to be here, where they're going to be stationed. That's all what he's looking into.
I love that for him. And I think you get kind of strange glances from non-islanders. Most of the people on the island are like, "Hey, Qell, what's up?" And kind of slap you on the back. And one particularly drunken woman goes, "This guy, he is the best stories. You gotta listen to him later." And as you're working your way through, checking out these different entrances and exits, Mayor Desmond comes up to you. "Hey, Qell! Good to see you. Good to see you at the festival.
Always a pleasure, Mayor.
Are you having fun so far?"
Yes, I am doing a preliminary check on your facilities and making sure that all of the exits and entrances are secure. Tell me.
Yeah.
How many guards are you going to have stationed around?
I think we have 10. It's, there's about 100, 150 people here. And our islanders can take care of themselves. Like, if you think about it, the islanders are really the guard who can protect everybody. We're all pretty tough. But I'm glad that you are invested in the security and prosperity of this festival, because I did have a question that I wanted to ask you, which was, you know how a few days ago I asked you and Calanthe and Bene and that journalist, Marius, I believe is his name, to go take care of the Quatoa little infestation?
Yes. How is the young man?
He seems to be really enjoying himself, which is good, because if he writes a good review, then we can get more people to come back to the island and be more prosperous. He's doing well. Now, I heard the fight was possibly a little bit rough, but would you guys be willing to get the band back together, to go keep watch on the back docks tonight? It'll be kind of like the dead hour shift, very late, and then you'd be free to go once the sun rolls around.
Well, I was planning on taking in a bit of the festival, but I shall, of course, be working the whole time for the good of both of our communities, of course. But you must know, sir, that these are interesting times. The creatures that we faced, the ichor that bled from their mouths and their wounds, I have ruminated and found no answers, none from myself, nor the council, nor Guardios, and I would be most interested to get closer to an investigation.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Qell's, of course, referring to something that happened in episode 0, but there was this oily, rainbow iridescent, viscous liquid that was pouring out of these Kuatoa as they perished. Iridescent is that, I hadn't been thinking about it, and I'm glad that someone is. I don't think really worry about that. I feel like that was a one-time thing, and it's they haven't come back, so I think we should be good, right? We're good.
Well, one can never be too careful, and with but 10 guards, I must say, Mr. Mayor, and I clap him on the shoulder just a little bit too hard, not really meaning to, but like, you are quite lucky to have me along, I must say. And
I've been aware of that my whole time as mayor.
On that subject, if you would like to dismiss those others, once again, I have made this clear over and over again, but I am perfectly capable of doing your watch. And those two, if they would prefer to be more in their cups, so to say,
I fully offered them bottles and bottles that they could bring with them for this watch. They will be in their cups with you. But, you know, I just feel like it's best to kind of get 4 people back there. We've always done 4 people watches back there just to make sure that if a pirate crew rolls up, if some kind of dastardly bastards come through, that, you know, we have ample people to take care of them, right? But I know that you are one of the strongest people here, if not the strongest. Yeah.
Well, by the light of the moon, I will do what I must, and I will protect this place, whether others wait in the wings or not. However, on the subject of the boy, should he be in need of some, say, mentoring to hone the interesting powers that he displayed, I would be happy to provide a service.
You can talk about that while you keep watch. That sounds like a good plan to me. Well, I will leave you to it. I'm gonna go check on some other people. But if you need me, you know, find me. And he heads off. Qell, I think you go to continue to enjoy the festival. And we find our way to our last PC, Marius. So what is Marius doing, Sam? He's an investigative journalist here to kind of keep track of what's going on Maralone during the festival. What is he invested in?
Right now he's been going around these past couple of days, just talking to people around town, just getting their opinions on the festival and how they're involved and what's going on. So he'd probably be going by the chapel at this point. Probably be like one of the last places that he'd hit.
That sounds great to me. So actually, to go to the chapel, you have to go a little bit out into the farming district. It's right on the edge of the farming district and the tourism district. But you go there and you see this very simple but beautiful, like white chapel. The stained glass in the window shows all the bountiful gifts of Terra Matria, all the beautiful things that the land has to offer. And you get little hints of the ocean here and there, but you don't really see like a full ocean picture. And you come in and you find, I think it's probably still a little bit earlier in the morning, you find preacher Gerald Bluebond, sort of just, you know, going about the work of keeping up this chapel with his acolyte, whose name is Bryson Beneford, who is this Aarakocra gentleman that looks like a seagull. He's in his mid-20s. And I think you've maybe seen him around town a little bit at this point. He doesn't seem like a good dude. Like he was like freshly off being a pirate, and you don't know if maybe Gerald is like, oh, I can fix you and kind of change you.
I can fix him.
I can by bringing you into the church, but it doesn't seem to be working. And then Preacher Bluebond himself is one of those guys who just kind of looks perpetually old. Got a Patrick Stewart vibe. He is a human with the kind of hair at the temples that goes around with a bald spot on top. He wears a very simple dark vest with a sprig of grain pinned into the breast. Underneath is a simple white tunic, and on his legs are just some trousers. And he has boots for traversing both the dock and the farmland. Hello, you're that reporter, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. My name's Marius. Lucius. It's a pleasure to meet you guys.
Marius, Lucius, a pleasure to make your acquaintance. This is my acolyte, Bryson Beneford. And he kind of just goes, "Sup?" What brings you to our chapel during the festival? I assumed you would be more interested in seeing the sights and sounds of the Winnowing Festival.
Well, I've been doing that, for the past couple of days, just going around, mainly tourism district. But I was just kind of curious going around more in this area of town, what the regular townsfolk were thinking about the festival, or if you were excited, just kind of wondering your thoughts on the goings on right now.
Bryson goes, "It's pretty sick," and Blue Bond is like, "Well, I think it does a lot of good for the island because you get these ideas, these people coming from all corners of the world to experience what our beautiful little island has to offer. I think this island is so special and it has such a unique quality to it. I don't know. Have you talked much to the locals about the history of our island?"
A little bit, but not too much.
Well, in recent memory, by which I mean, a couple hundred years ago, it wasn't inhabited. But after this war that happened 100 years ago, of the war after the world's end.
Right.
There were a bunch of pirates, outcasts, all these different flotsam and jetsam of society came together on this island to try to forge something together, to try to build a community. And they succeeded. And now you're seeing generations later, their children and some of the original inhabitants continuing to thrive. And I just think that's great to take those who maybe have had a hard past, who've had to struggle to make it through the world. They've come into this beautiful, beautiful little outskirt on the edge of an empire to build a life for themselves and the future generations. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about this island. I think it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, no, I mean, of course. I mean, how does this chapel kind of fit into the history of the island? When was this established?
Oh, well, I grew up in a farming town, and a while ago, I'd never seen the sea and the ocean. I came to the coast and I saw it spread out before me, and I just couldn't allow myself to be landlocked anymore. So I packed up my church. I was training to be a Teramatrian preacher in this town, my hometown, and I came out here. They already had a preacher to keep them going. I was just being trained. So I came out here. I built this chapel myself. I didn't do the stained glass. That was a glass blower. But I just figured maybe they needed a bit of a religious home. And so here we are. And people have taken to it quite well. I have the farmers come to the services often, and even some of the more earthier tourism industry people find the time to come in and pray every once in a while as well.
Do you see a lot of do you see an increased traffic through here when the festival's going on, or is it generally the same sort of folk?
Oh yes, and it's an uptick in traffic, to be sure. There's people, people are always in the Port of Ushan. People always go to the Port of Ushan, but it's only every once in a while that they go there and decide to take a little weekend trip out to Maralone. But during the festival, since that is such a pivotal point, and it has been, tales of it have been spread far and wide, we've started to get people from all over, even from continents far away. And it's a delight, a true delight to get them all here. And, my congregation is just a bit fuller during these times, and can't say that I don't appreciate that.
Right, interesting. Yeah. He's just writing all this down. He turns to Bryce and he goes,
Mhm.
So how do you find your way in the service of this chapel here?
Well, I was was a pirate on a ship, and kept knocking down merchant vessels, but we weren't getting anything good. And he kind of run out of money, and he needs something else to do. So here I am. I kind of came to this island on a lark, met preacher Jerry here, and was like, why not? You know, might put down some roots for a while to get a little bit of cash to get out in the world. I didn't realize how little cash an acolyte of the Teramatrian Church actually makes.
Right.
But I get free room and board, so you know, we're chilling.
He's not writing any of that down.
Yeah, do you want to know a
Interesting.
secret? You want to know a secret?
Please, yeah.
Preacher Blue Bond has kind of gone away to attend to something and fix something up and make the church look presentable for if anyone comes by. But Bryson leans into it and is like, the Winnowing Festival? That, like, you know, they make it seem like they've been doing it for generations and generations. This maybe started like 30 years ago because they weren't getting traffic to the island. So they just needed to kind of build an event to get people to come over. And then they just kind of based it in like a religious thing, which I think is kind of fucked up. But, you know, what are you going to do? You got to make that money, you know?
Right. Yep. Interesting. Where did you hear about this?
Oh, like just around, like some of the older timers, like you know, I go out to Terrell Lightfall's place sometimes. I went like once or twice just to kind of like see what was in the marsh. He doesn't like me, but he took the time to like talk. I guess I just like wasn't his vibe. You know, like I guess people don't really fuck with me sometimes, but it's like, fuck you, you know?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's like these dudes out there called the Lost Men, and apparently they were pirates. They were like middle-aged, and I don't know, they ran across this sorceress, got on her bad side, and then she cursed them to be children forever. So now they call themselves the Lost Men. They live out in the marsh. You can go see them if you want.
Are they children or are they middle-aged men?
Who knows? You know.
Okay.
They used to be middle-aged men, but now they're children. But they're children forever. So even now they're probably in like the middle age of childhood. You know.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So like a teenager, like me.
No. They still look young. It's more of like a metaphorical middle age of childhood, you know?
Like a mental.
Yeah, they're super old. Like they're old dudes, but they have these bods of like
but they're
kids.
really young.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fucking wild, dude. You should check it out.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, Bryson. And you as well, Gerald. Kind of wave to him as I'm walking out.
Feel free to come back for a service if you ever feel like it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll be sure. When do you have service?
We'll be having one since it's the festival. We'll be doing one Saturday night and Sunday morning. So
okay.
In the next few days, swing on by.
Yeah, I'll be sure to. He walks out. So
yeah. Go ahead.
From there, I'm probably going to want to talk to Terrell Lightfall about this lie that everybody's collectively engaging in about the festival.
Yeah, you since you've probably hung out with Bene at least a little bit, so Bene has definitely introduced you to or not introduced you, but told you about Terrell, so you know who to look for. So you go back into kind of the main tourism district where all the activity is going on, and you roll perception check. Fuck around and find out.
Perception. I got a 22.
You immediately like, that's him. I know Benny said he was in the Navy at one point, and he's this big, hot
SMR.
That's him. So you go over to him, and how do you approach him?
Hello, Mr. Lightfall.
Well, oh, hi there. How do you know my name?
Oh, a friend of mine, Benny, he told me about you.
That
I'm
little- yeah.
I'm a journalist for the Sears Chronicle.
That's
my name is.
That's not on the island, right? That's mainland paper.
Yeah, that's in what's the city called?
Bushan, yeah.
Bushan, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in Bushan.
Cool.
I'm here for the festival, and I'm trying to find people in the know about the history and all the details about this festival for the paper. So I figured you seem to be the person to talk to.
I've definitely been here a long time, long time. Probably one of the oldest people here. So feel free to just shoot, and I'll answer to the best of my ability.
Well, how old are you?
Oh, I think I'm coming up on like about to reach the 200s. After a while, you just kind of forget.
Right. Wow. Okay. So you've been around on this island since it was established, right?
Yeah, pretty much. The pirates weren't super happy to have a naval officer setting up camp in the marshland, but no one really went out there, so it wasn't much of a bother.
Right.
Yeah. So I've seen this whole island come up for certain.
Fascinating. So the festival's been going on since the island was established, or when was that?
He looks around. Yeah. And he says, I know what you're asking. Okay, come here. He pulls you away to a secluded corner down an alley by one of the shops and goes, okay, look, we're not supposed to actually talk about this. This is supposed to be an unspoken secret, and I would appreciate if you didn't put it in your paper, but
I can't make any promises.
I don't know if I can tell you that. Sure,
I mean,
it's been going on since day one.
I've been hearing rumors that the festival's only been really going on for like 30 years.
Oh, you shouldn't listen to unsubstantiated rumors,
Are you sure? Because it seemed like you were about to tell me that the festival's only been going on for 30 years.
Was I?
Sure seemed like it.
It doesn't seem like something I do. I love this island, and I love for it to prosper. So anything that might endanger its prosperity, I don't want to do that. You wouldn't make me do that, would you?
Mr. Lightfall, is that a threat?
No, I'm just.
That's a promise.
It's a promise, yeah. That's a promise.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I hope you have a good. Yeah.
I would say just because Benny's probably spent a lot of time with him. I would say probably Terrell's vibe would just be more so I fought for this place. I'm not about to just let you fuck up all the work I have put into this place, fuck
I feel
your
that,
paper.
yeah. Okay, listen. Marius, was it? Have we exchanged names? I don't think I caught your name.
Yeah, I introduced myself.
But listen. I'm an old man. I fought in a long war, and this island has been the rest and recuperation that I needed to finally live out my end days. And I've grown quite fond of the people on this island. Some of my closest friends live on this island. And anything, I'm fine with it, people coming in here to make it prosper, but anything that might damage the story of this island, I don't want to share that with your paper.
I understand, but if anything, I'm just more confused. Why would that fact or rumor, if it were true, why would that damage the island or even the festival? It doesn't seem to. Why is that important that it's been going on for as long as it allegedly has?
Authenticity. You're trying to sell authenticity. And if it were that this festival had not been going on for a long time and had not been brought together by the various traditions of some of the more religious pirates that originally occupied this island. Listen, kid, you're not going to get a zip out of me. I appreciate the struggle. And maybe if you were to go ask some other people, they might give you some more information. But me, myself, that's all you're going to get out of me.
Okay, and no hard feelings.
No, you seem like a
just
nice
my job,
lad. Yeah. Actually, who you could talk to about all the various goings on this island. I'm sure you've. Hey, Galamon, you turn around and Mayor Desmond is there, and he looks at you and says, "Oh my, finally! I was looking. Oh, hey, Marius.
Hi, hey there.
How's it going? Have you been enjoying your time on this island the past few days?"
Yeah, it's a wonderful island. Kind of turning to Lightfall. It's a really great island. Really fun time. Really interesting people. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you looking for me for?
Well, you know how you had that expedition out into the marshlands with Bene, Qell, Calanthe. Yeah.
Right.
What would you say about? Have you been to the back docks yet?
Where?
Have you been to the back docks? The back of the island.
I don't think so, no.
Oh, well, I think it would be a great experience for you to join the three of them as they do their watch out there tonight, just to make sure that nothing, comes onto the island that's not supposed to be here. You'll be able to drink and kind of hang out, and you can maybe interview them about all the wonderful things that our island has to offer.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so I'll get you linked up with them later. For now, okay. So I think you've probably noticed by now that this island doesn't really have a jail, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because nothing bad really happens here. It's fun, it's touristy. But just so you are aware that we are keeping people safe, maybe I can just show you where we keep kind of the more rambunctious people who might have, caused some damage unless otherwise apprehended.
Okay.
Yeah, so he takes you around, and this is very private. Not a lot of people get to see this. He takes you around. It's behind several buildings, but it's this very small. It's almost like a shack, and there's a sign over it that just says the stowaway. And so you go inside, and there's a few cells, none of which are occupied except for one. And you see in that cell a figure who you are actually familiar with. This is Shoebuckle, who was a pirate who would often come to your Pappy Rhubarb's lighthouse temple to kind of receive blessings, but also kind of just live off of the your pappy's good graces for a little while. And he would tell you these really terrifying stories. He was involved in this battle that you've now realized that Qell was also involved in, where this kraken came in near the port of Lushan. And you've heard about how Shoebuckle, who used to be this great adventurer, was kind of first in line to bring a crew together and go try to take down this kraken. And that ended with his whole crew being eviscerated besides him, and his ship just completely being destroyed. And he told you that story over and over, and you hated it. How do you see Shoebuckle looking these days?
Marius is not super fond of Shoebuckle, but regardless, he's still decently friendly whenever he sees him, trying to be as civil as he can be, but he thinks he's kind of a bum.
Okay, yeah. And he looks a bit like a bum right now. He's somehow getting drink. He is clearly drunk, and his clothes are kind of torn up, and it seems like he just now lives in this jail. And the mayor says, "Yeah, so this is Shuby. He is sort of a permanent resident of this kind of situation that we have going on here. He keeps track of the other prisoners and kind of makes them calm down if they're being a little too rowdy. But, he came to the island. He wasn't really leaving. He was causing a bunch of trouble. And he seems more than happy here. So we just kind of let him stay here. And he wakes up at this, hearing his name, and he sees you and he goes, if it isn't that little lad that used to stay at the temple. Good to see you. How have you been?
Hi, Shoebuckle. I'm great. I'm really good. It's good to see you.
Is it? I distinctly remember you disliking my tales, but what brings you to this island?
I'm a reporter for the Sears Chronicle.
Are you
doing a piece on the island and the festival? So anyway, great to see you. I'll see you later. I got a lot to do, a lot of paperwork and things to.
Come back and visit. Oh yeah, because I got more stories to tell you for your paper.
I'm sure you do. But yeah, like I said, don't really got the time to listen to one right now. But it's always good to see you. Bye. And he leaves. As he walks out, he kind of.
And Mayor Desmond's like, I didn't know that you knew each other. That's bonkers. That is wild. What a small world we live in.
Yeah.
Great. Well, go about, enjoy the festival, have a good time, and we'll get you teamed up with the rest of the crew later to go do that little back dock watch.
Right.
Have a good time. Bye.
Okay. We'll do. Thanks, Mayor. He kind of goes off and starts to wander around the tourism district.
Fantasy Jimmy Olsen.
Love it. And the day goes on. Much merriment is had. And this is going to be where we take a little break. And the next episode will be the end of the first part of the first episode. And audience, you can come back for part 2 to see what they get up to at the back docks. See you then.